Good afternoon again, everyone, and welcome to another Faith and Healing broadcast. We're also always so happy that you join us on a weekly basis for the many things that we are showing you and teaching you and helping you to maintain a great body, great health, a great system. And as we tell you very often, we are fully aware that even after trying and doing your best, it is not unusual or impossible to still potentially come down with things that could bug the system. But at least we would have known that we tried our best. And of course, here on Faith and Healing, one of our primary purposes is to remind us that God not only wants us to prosper physically in our lives, to have great bodies, to look awesome, to feel good about ourselves, but that we also prosper in our spiritual health. He wants us to prosper both physically and spiritually, hence faith and healing. And so we remind you also that this information is not meant to take over your medical information or to treat your disease or your illness. We always encourage you to work along with a medical care professional to deal with your issues and to deal with your problems. However, we do encourage you to take a hold of your health and to ask questions and to inquire about what is going on in your body. Find out what your ailments and your illnesses are. And even though you are being treated medically and conventionally, but to also incorporate healthy eating and foods, fruits, vegetables, and otherwise that also participates in your medicinal health. I believe it's the wise thing to do. God gave us our food for the purpose of ensuring that we are well nourished and that it would help to prolong our life, to assist in our longevity. And He wants us to be able to exercise that level of wisdom. So we want to thank you, and we want to continue to, just encourage you to do the best that you can to help your health and to help your life. So thank you again for tuning in and for making Faith and Healing where you get some of your health information. I am also not a medical care professional, just someone who truly appreciates not only preaching the gospel, but demonstrating the gospel. And I take some of the many things that I practice in my own life and I help to share them with you along with the information that God gives to me. And I bring them to you so that you can live a well-rounded life. So this afternoon, we are very pleased to share with you just some ideas that you can take a hold of if for any reason you may experience certain challenges medically while you're at home and you may not be either close to your medications or you may be out of your medications and or you might not even be on medications at that moment, but some things that you could apply and you could try that would be able to help and to assist you with feeling better in that moment until you get yourself to some medical care. Now we are looking at some foods, natural foods that are already in the kitchen, in the cupboards. They are there with you. They are at home. You have them. You use them all the time, but have not fully realized how beneficial they can be to your overall health system. Some of them are very helpful to diabetic health, balancing of glucose. We have spoken about diabetes on numerous broadcasts, and one of the reasons why it keeps coming up is because it is a debilitating illness that has very harmful consequences to the body, including things like amputation, which is a major life change. In many cases in the male gender, it also causes impotence, which is a major issue if you are, a married partner. In many cases, it causes blindness, which is a major issue, male or female. that you started off life with your sight and now it is totally gone from you. So those are some of the issues that a person faces, when they are battling things like diabetic and insulin and glucose, unhealthy glucose levels in the blood. There are just so many not so good and pleasant responses, negative responses to the body when a person experiences or suffers from diabetic illness. So one of the teachings that we are doing this afternoon is just simple ways that you could balance the sugar atom if for any reason you are experiencing spikes, in the sugar level. And we're going to show you one of those natural things that you probably either have in the cupboard, or if you don't have it, that you can invest in it and just keep it at home, that just in the event you may experience a great sugar spike and you are not in, proximity to your meds, you can apply this and find some relief until you speak to your doctor, because once again, you want to ensure that you are receiving the right and appropriate medical advice when you are dealing with such issues. We're also going to be talking to you about your blood pressure health. Many people suffer from hypertension. Many people suffer from hypertensive disease. Many people suffer from those kind of illnesses that messes with, terrible headaches, affects the heart due to the issues of constrictions in pumping blood flow, which ultimately has negative effects on the kidneys. Blood pressure, hypertension, and kidneys work hand in hand. Also definitely has serious negative impact to the heart, because it also damages arteries, heart valves, and things like that. So many people, blood pressure and hypertension has been labeled a silent killer. And the reason for that is many people actually are hypertensive and they do not know it. Now, some people, they do have a very great, blood pressure level. Usually they say for athletes, if you're very active, you can look at a blood pressure of probably about 110/70. That could be normal for some. If that is not your normal, then that may be considered low for some people. That is considering that your normal has always been a higher range, and then all of a sudden it is showing at that. You may want to check just to make sure that everything is okay. But for many people, a 110/70, particularly for athletes and people that are very active, is not necessarily unusual. However, many individuals, somewhere around 115, 120 is considered to be excellent. Now they're even looking at, if you're probably in the 130s, they're saying it's not really hypertension, but you still have to begin to watch it. So you want to know your upper and lower numbers are always in sync. About 70, 75 can be considered very balanced and healthy. When you start hitting the 80s and above on your lower numbers for the blood pressure measuring, you want to begin to really take things into consideration. When your blood pressure measures at things like 140 something, 150 something, 160 something, you know that you're looking at things like hypertension. The only challenge is a lot of people do not check their blood pressure, so they do not really know what it is. Some of the signs that your blood pressure could be high is a major headache to the back of the neck and tension to the back of the head or the back of the neck. Also, serious headaches is an indication that the blood pressure may be high. A lot of lightheadedness and fainting spells, and some people have fainted and passed out if the blood pressure is too high. And of course, in many cases, if the blood pressure is very high, it could also cause a stroke, which in some cases have even been fatal to some people. So that is why it is called and it is considered the silent killer. There are many ways that blood pressure could, be affected. High stress level, again, the negative stress that many of us face by dealing with many things in life. Those stress levels are definitely not helpful. Worrying and all the other things that, no wonder God said, cast all our anxieties on him, because he wanted to make sure he was carrying our problems and not us. Because when we carry them, they do affect our blood pressure levels. So we want to encourage you to keep your blood pressure at a healthy pace and at a healthy rate. One of the ways that we can do that, one is by minimizing stress, worry, anxiety, because those things affect the blood pressure negatively. Another way that we can do that is by getting adequate and sufficient rest, by going to bed at decent times and trying to get at least a good 7 to 8 hours of sleep on a regular basis. I know that's not possible for everyone, especially those in the medical field, and especially during the pandemic season of working back shifts. It is very hard, but our hope is that you are able to make up sleep and to make up rest. Also, we want to share that if you're a blood pressure hypertensive patient, you want to be a strong water drinker, because blood pressure has a lot to do with the blood. If the blood is very thick, it doesn't make its way through the veins as easily and flowingly as it should. But water will help to make that better. Water will satisfy that. Water will decrease that. So we're encouraging you to drink a lot of water. Drink a lot of water. Keep your water intake at a very great high. Once again, we've talked about this on previous broadcasts. Juice is not water. Soda is not water. You want to have actual water. Now, you can create your flavored waters as you have been taught, but you want to have enough fluid. So once the blood is fluid, it is liquid enough, it will flow nicely through the veins, and that will keep the blood pressure at a good balance. So there are very simple and natural ways that you can do that, but we will also, in a short moment, also speak about one of the foods at home, healing foods that you can quickly ingest and take in if you feel that the blood pressure is high and you're not having a lot of success balancing it with water. This particular food is very excellent at bringing blood pressure back into balance in very short succession of time, and also helps in keeping things from getting serious and dangerous. So we're going to be looking at that particular food. We also will be looking at very shortly a particular medicinal property that it should always be in your kitchen or always be in your home, that if for any reason you have come down with things like a stomach virus where you have violent and serious vomiting and diarrhea, and it is uncontrollable and it's going on for days, and you've tried the Pepto-Bismol and you've tried the other things, but you're not getting relief. Now, first of all, you want to also find out what is the root cause of that it is not anything serious. But let us suppose it is related to food poisoning, and you are fully aware and sure that it is because of food poisoning. Then you can use this particular medicinal property that we're about to try, and you can take that in, and within 25 to 30 minutes, you should totally see a halt to the issues of nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. It works very powerfully. Also, if for any reason you know someone who may have ingested, probably a child, or somebody who ate something that was poisonous and didn't realize that it was poisonous, but they have now ingested it and they're definitely having some kind of reaction. If you could get that medicinal property into the body, whatever way you're able to get it in, that would bring them back, because it is absolutely very powerful and excellent in destroying and zapping poisons out of the body and saving lives. Also, if for any reason a child or an adult has been stung by a bee or by any other animal that may have some kind of effect where after stinging you, it raises and causes a hurtful and painful lump or a bump, You can make a paste with this medicinal property, put it on that thing, and it will remove the poison from the bee sting or whatever other creature may have bitten you and have caused this to be a problem. So let us go ahead and begin now to try out our medicinal properties, so that we are able to get an idea of how to effectively take care of some things at home that you already have, or if you do not have it, you should have it. And I should mention there is one more that could also very much assist in circulatory health. Remember, we have said for a long time, perfect circulation equals perfect health. If your circulation is good, then health is good. Many people suffer from poor circulation, especially those who are bedridden or amputees who are unable to walk and they're sitting in a chair. Circulation is definitely an issue. If you are able to maintain great circulation through activity, through walking, through jogging, whatever your means of exercise and workout is, or all the other great exercising things that people do out there that makes them healthy, if you're able to do that and you're able to have sufficient water, breathing in fresh air, then you can safely, proceed into enjoying good enough health. Once the circulation is poor because blood is not flowing as it should, it leads to all kind of debilitating and dangerous issues in the body. So once again, perfect circulation equals perfect health. And you want to definitely have this next product that we spoke about in your kitchen. So we're about to look at least 4 different things, properties, foods that you want to keep in your kitchen at all times, that in the event you ever would come into a medical crisis where you have not gotten to your physician or you are not close to your medicines, if you were to take those, you should be able to find help and you should be able to find relief. Well, one of the first things that we are about to look at, as I was speaking about the circulatory health, is cayenne pepper. Now, many people use pepper. There are many different peppers out there, jalapenos, bell pepper, and you have the sweet peppers and you have the hot peppers. Now, cayenne pepper is a most powerful form of medicinal, help that you should always have in the kitchen. Okay, these are things you just want to have. Let us look at some of the benefits of the cayenne pepper. It assists with migraine relief. It clears the sinuses. And also assist with allergies relating to sinus issues. It helps, with digestion and increasing the number of, gastric juices that flows. So that's one of the ways that it assists with digestion, because it assists the gastric juices. It increases and boosts circulation because it controls blood flow. So like I said, it definitely aids with circulation. So you want to be able, and shortly we will do a demonstration of how you could take it into the body or into the system. So definitely a great circulatory boost, and that is why you need to have it in the kitchen. It's a detox agent which flushes out toxins from the body. It's a pain relief, natural pain reliever. Okay, so if you're experiencing pain, joint pain, head pain, once again, do not self-diagnose. Do not stay at home, have symptoms going over several days and not seeking medical care and trying to treat yourself at home. That is not the recommendation that we are making here today. We always encourage you to find the root cause of your symptoms. Know what is happening to you. That's the wise and intelligent thing to do. And once you know what is happening and your doctors have given you some kind of evaluation, then you want to not only rely on, the conventional things that you have, you want to be able to add healthy foods and nutritional values to aid in what your doctors are doing so you get maximum benefit and relief. So once again, don't just sit at home and say, I have a headache, let me just grab my cayenne pepper, or my circulation is poor. Yes, if that's just one day, fine. When that goes on for days and a couple weeks, you want to seek medical help. So always remember that. But all things considered, we want you to know that cayenne pepper is great for circulatory health. It detoxifies, so it is a detox agent that flushes out toxins from the body. And we know that once the body is flushed of toxins, then it destroys those free radicals that damages the system and causes all kinds of problems. And we said it's a pain reliever, so you definitely could use it for that. It also manages weight loss by boosting metabolism. When your metabolism is high, you tend to maintain a good body weight, so that's always a good thing. And it has great benefits to heart health, which makes sense. If blood is flowing naturally to and from the heart, then you're going to have a good and healthy heart. And it is stated by research that it is probably also very helpful in killing cancer cells. So if you're a cancer patient, it may be helpful to add cayenne pepper to your meal regimen. So let's look at one of the ways that we can use cayenne pepper. And I have a teaspoon here, so I'm just going to put some on here. You want to try about a half teaspoon of cayenne pepper in a full serving of water, and preferably warm water. And so I have some warm water here. And so you stir this. In some cases, because it is cayenne pepper and because it burns, some people use just a little honey to be able to take care. It kind of mixes the taste so you don't get all the peppery taste. There's a little sweetness to it. And so you can just drink that, if you're battling circulatory issues or other blood pressure issues, you can just basically, and there you'll see, and I'm dripping a little. So I'm going to just drink some of this. Definitely the honey makes a difference. So maybe a teaspoon of honey to half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper in warm water for better dissolving, and you drink all of that. And it does burn a little, but the internal benefits are absolutely tremendous. And that is our first recommendation for a natural medicinal property that you should always have at home. You can always cook with cayenne pepper as well. You can make it a part of your seasonings. I personally like it in the warm water. And that is because anything that is liquid goes directly into the bloodstream and you get immediate results. So I always like to take things. That's why I like juicing, because your nutritional values enters the bloodstream directly rather than waiting for it to break down through food. And that's one of the reasons why I do like and appreciate juicing. So same thing with the cayenne pepper. Yes, you can cook with it, but then it waits to go through its digestive process. When you drink it, you get more of an immediate effect. So that's one of the ways you can do that. Our next medicinal property that we are going to try is the charcoal. And I want you to see here, I use this charcoal powder. You can get, remember, it is always activated charcoal, not just any charcoal. Activated charcoal. Now, charcoal is excellent for many things, but because we eat all the time, we're always eating, so it is very likely that we could experience food poisoning. And so because that is possible, you want to always keep charcoal in the house. And that way you put a teaspoon of charcoal. Again, you can do regular water, room temperature, or you can do warm, and you simply pour your warm water into your charcoal, you mix it up, and if you're vomiting, you're nauseating, you're having violent, turbulent diarrhea and vomiting, all you do is you just mix this up, you drink a glass of it, and within at least 30 minutes, for some people it could be less, For some people, it could be a little more, but at least within 30 minutes, it works almost immediately, and it totally not only stops that, but it will destroy any of the poisons that in the food that caused you to have those negative effects. Okay, so charcoal here. And you can do that also for detoxifying purposes because it draws toxins and poisons from the body. Again, if somebody ingested poison, a child, if you're stung by a bee, if you're stung by an animal that has left a huge lump because it has deposited something in the system, you could make a paste with charcoal and water, and you can put it on there, wrap some saran wrap, and it would draw that out of the body and out of the system. So you want to keep that in mind. Charcoal is a must-have in the house. The next thing that we want to also look at is our garlic, and garlic was the food recommendation that I had for high blood pressure. Garlic is powerful in that it also breaks down plaque in the arteries. So it is also a great heart food. So if you are battling cholesterol issues, high cholesterol, you want to make garlic a friend. It cleans out the arteries, it breaks down plaque, and it allows the blood to flow smoothly. And from what I have gathered from some of the research that I did, in certain cases, the garlic actually cleans out the arteries so clean, it almost brings it back to when you were a child and you never had cholesterol issues. So imagine how powerful and potent this food is, as simple as it is. So it is powerful to heart health. It is excellent in lowering cholesterol issues. It removes and cleans plaque from the arteries. And in the matters of high blood pressure and hypertension, if your blood pressure spikes and you do not have your medicine, or you didn't even know that you had blood pressure issues, but you feel this tension of pain in the back of your neck and it seems like your veins are popping out, you could grab a garlic, you could crush it with something, or you could put it in a garlic squeezer, you could squeeze it out in a cup, and you want to get at least 3 cloves. Okay, I'm going to do 3 large cloves. You want to do at least 3 cloves. Okay, then you take this. You also use warm or hot enough water because you want the properties to be broken up. And what you want to do is, and I want to show you here, I hope that you're able to see this. Okay, you'll see the little garlic things floating on the top. What you want to do is, you do not want to extract the garlic. Now, I know it's probably not the best tasting thing, and I know it's not the greatest to your social life because it does have a strong, aroma, but you don't want to extract that. You want the garlic to enter the system. Some people only drink the water, but I recommend that you want to take the garlic in. And even though you have to close your eyes and take a huge gulp at a time, which is what I sometimes do, but you want to get it in. Now, if that is a little bit not for you because you're big on taste, you can also do the same thing, squeeze the garlic onto a plate and then use a little honey and then put it over the garlic just a little and then scoop it in like a little tonic, and that makes it easier to go down. So these are the 2 options you have. You could squeeze it in the water. If you're like me and you just want to be better and be healthy and you don't care about taste, that's how I am. If I know it's good for me, I don't care about taste. Some people really care about taste. So if that is you, then go ahead, squeeze the garlic onto a plate, 3 cloves, use a half teaspoon of honey, just a little bit to glaze it, scoop it up, take a huge spoon, throw it in the back of your throat, and get your blood pressure health back on track. Excellent for that. Our final at-home treatment is our cinnamon powder, and that is for the glucose balancing. So if you're at home, and you do not know that you are diabetic. Some people don't know that they have a sugar problem, but for some reason you realize it may have to do with that. You can take some a half teaspoon of cinnamon powder. You can put it in a bit of water. Again, warm water always make things dissolve much easier. You stir, and then you drink this as a shot. Okay, you can either put it in a little glass, you could put it in half a cup. If you are diabetic and you are taking medication and your sugar spikes, do not take your medication and then take cinnamon. Not good, because you're going to have too low a drop. It's either or. Okay, do not take them together. If you are going to take cinnamon, then along with medication, you space that out at least 2 to 3 hours in between the consumption of one between the other. So we want to encourage you to be very careful when you are using natural things, because even though they are natural, they do have power, and you don't want to ever take them along with any conventional medicines. You want to leave enough space in between. Well, I hope that the presentation this afternoon was very helpful to you, and that you realize that there are simple foods that you can keep at home and have in your closet, in your cupboard, that is able to bring you the kind of help that you need to have and maintain a very healthy and well-rounded system. Well, remember always, God wants you to not only prosper physically, He definitely wants you to prosper spiritually right along with your physical health. And until next time on Faith and Healing, we encourage you to continue to keep the faith.